Friends 2.
I like this.
Yeah. Yeah, I just added a little flair.
The countdown shorter, the smoke.
Yeah.
Like we do ending.
You're like, it's a surprise every fucking week.
That, you want to
Right.
Gavin in, and we'll get
Yeah.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. How are you?
man.
I'm great. Excited.
So, want to kind of introduce ourselves a little bit. I'm Randy, and I am in Oklahoma City.
Awesome.
And I'm John, and I'm in Topeka, Kansas.
Okay, gotcha. I'm Gavin. I'm from Virginia.
Right.
Are you in Virginia now, Gavin?
Yeah, I'm in Virginia right now.
Right on.
Yeah, right outside of D.C., Northern Virginia.
All right.
Killer.
Gavin, I very recently was digging into your history.
Okay.
In preparation.
That sounds a little scary.
No.
Hopefully not my search history.
I had so much fun going through stuff last night and seeing all the stuff that you guys have already done and accomplished.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start off asking, maybe it's a two-part question. Like, how old were you when you started playing and performing?
3 years ago.
Just 3 years ago, you just started?
Maybe 4 years ago.
Lord.
Wow.
This interview's over. I hate myself.
I know.
I mean, I've been around the music industry my whole life.
Right, absolutely. I'm very aware of that.
As far as actually taking it seriously, it was my senior year of high school, or the end of it. So I graduated around 2020. That was my class. So that's when COVID hit, was the last half of my senior year. And right around there is when I really kind of thought, like, you know what? Everybody, we all have a year off. Let's just that's when I took it seriously. So, I mean, that was right about 4 years ago.
Dude, that's freaking crazy. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
So how your bandmates, how did you guys all get together and form the Gavin Evick band and get started then?
Yeah, so my rhythm guitar player, Logan, who I'm seeing, we got our Warren Star picture right there in the background. That's cool. I just noticed that. I can't even see the faces, but I know that's that. He's the one on the left, even if you can't see the face. But I've known him since high school. Yeah, there he is on the left. I've known him since high school, and we kind of started jamming.
No.
And my dad used to have this big warehouse, and that's where we would practice late at night, 3 a.m., 5 a.m. We would just, for like 8 hours at a time, we wouldn't even sleep. We would just play and play and play, because this was right after COVID hit, and a lot of my friends, we didn't know what to do. Like, a lot of my friends that were going to college, they all kind of took a gap year because the world just kind of shut down. And we took that time as an advantage to just go crazy and just learn how to be great musicians. And then, it came time I released Favorite Songs. That's a song that I wrote with my dad, which is our first song. And Logan was in the music video. Logan is the guy I was talking about on the left. And we decided, everybody was saying you need to put a live band together. And that wasn't our band in that music video. That was, there's a band called AMH, Adam and the Metal Hawks. That was their bass player and drummer. And we needed to put a live band together. So we started looking around, and we found my buddy Steve, who's down in Virginia Beach, which is kind of 3-4 hours from me. Found him on social media, and we knew he was a great drummer. and we brought him up and his friend Jacob, and we had a 4-piece band, and we played. And it was our first show was opening up for my dad's solo band, about 500 people in the audience. And it went about as good as a first show could go. It wasn't amazing. It was actually fucking shitty. Shouldn't talk highly of it. Yeah, but, and then we decided, it just kind of started amping up from there. Then I've known for a few years my lead guitar player, whose name is also Gavin Hades. He was this 15-year-old kid in Ocean City, Maryland, which is 4 hours from me. And, I was against having an age gap. I was probably, 20 at the time, and he was 15, almost 16. And I was against that at first, but, he's just such a phenomenal player that I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be the guy that puts a local band together that has maybe 2 good members and maybe 2 or 3 just kind of okay members. I'm going to look at a radius of 4 hours. I don't give a fuck how far I got to drive to practice. I want to find the best people around me, no matter how fucking far they are, and put a band together that's not just 2 good members and 3 okay members, but 5 really good members. And I think I've done that. And so then it just kind of went from there. We've lost the member, gained the member, it's kind of there. But the main lineup has always been, me, Logan, Steven on the drums, and Gavin lead guitar.
With you mentioning favorite songs,
yeah,
we do have a little clip of that we're going to throw out there so everybody can hear that.
Oh no!
Yeah, here it comes.
I love it.
That's the song I ever released. And it's funny, when I was recording that song is when I was learning how to sing too. So it's like that song took months to make because I was becoming such a better singer while making it. Like my vocal lessons would be in the studio, and every time we would come back and I would re-sing it, and they were like, okay, this is good enough. And then I get better the next week, and it was just a new take every single time. And it was just, as much as, sometimes it's hard because I've become such a way better singer since I released that sometimes it's hard for me to listen. Like, oh, I wish I sang that differently. But memories of making that song, that song is where I learned how to sing and do those high notes.
So with that, coming out of that, the question I want to ask you are, what are some of your actual favorite songs?
What's funny is a lot of people tell me that favorite songs is their favorite song. And I say that defeats the whole fucking purpose. It's about singing your favorite songs with a girl in the middle of the night, driving around in a car or a truck. My favorite songs. Oh, fuck. That's hard because it changes. It really
right. I get that. I really do.
At the time of writing that song, it was probably like I Remember You or something like that by Skid Row. But it's like now I honestly, I don't know if I can name my favorite song. It depends on what every month it changes. It just depends on what phase I'm in. Sometimes I'll go through like a metal phase. Sometimes it'll be like a little country phase or something like that.
Dude, that's so real.
You know what I'm saying? Like today, dude, 3 days ago, I was at a fucking metal festival. I was at Zakk Wylde's Berserkers Fest, or whatever. You had all these metal bands. You had fucking Pantera fucking in your face. And then today I was listening to some Brooks and Dunn. I'm all over the place.
I love it.
The perfect thing that you said was 18 in life, because I was going to ask you who you envisioned yourself as when you started in your industry here. Because when I was a kid and I thought I wanted to play music, I always wanted to be Sebastian Bach in my head because I thought he was the worst person in the world. So
Yeah, I mean, vocally, Sebastian is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would want to be Sebastian because
You don't have to say anything. We got you.
I mean, frontman wise, I like the Steven Tyler and even bias Brett Michaels. I mean, those I strive to be more frontman and as a person more like them. Especially as a person, the farther away I could get from Sebastian Bach as a person.
Yeah, he is a very good front man. He puts on a really good show.
He does.
But
Yeah, I mean, I've never met the guy, but a lot of people I know don't like the guy.
Yeah. I can see that.
Oz, we still love you. If you ever want to come on the show, we're here for you.
I know, and I'm fucking this up for you guys.
It's all good. It's all good. So, who inspired you to get started back in 2020? I mean, what were you listening to, and what made you go, "This is the shit I want to do"? Skid Row, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been around it my whole life, and the story is, I was really getting into the music more. Like, I've been around it, but it's not that I've always listened to it my whole life. And my junior and senior year, I was really kind of getting into it and just loving it. In my senior year, I discovered Skid Row, and I was loving Skid Row. And every single year in January, my dad does an annual show with his old solo band Evick, and in his set, he does Youth Gone Wild. And I was really getting into Youth Gone Wild. I was fucking loving it. I was like, "Dad, are you going to do it tonight?" He's like, "Oh, yeah, of course." And I was looking at his set list, and in the middle of the night, he skipped it, right? and he took a small break, and I ran up to him like, "Dude, you fucking skipped Youth Gone Wild. What the fuck?" And he walked back up on stage, and he just kind of grabbed me and brought me up on stage with him. And I was like, "Okay, Gavin, is calling me out for skipping Youth Gone Wild, and here we are. We're about to do it." And I was the worst singer in the fucking world, and he said, "Okay, we're going to do Youth Gone Wild," and it was the most embarrassing thing on the fucking planet. And let me tell you, you guys know Youth Gone Wild, obviously, right?
Oh yeah.
There's that part in the second verse. It's like, "Hey man, some you ought to know, Park Avenue leads to Skid Row," and I didn't know all the words to the verse, right? Or the verses, so I wasn't really singing the verses, and I was just kind of pretending to sing. And then it came to that part, and I wasn't singing. My dad was singing the verse, and everybody dropped out. The band dropped out when that line came, and then all you could hear was the whole crowd scream, "Skid Row!" And that part, fucking, like, it was a force of wind that just hit me in the fucking chest, and I was like, "Holy fuck!" And we're all 500 of us in this room right now. And it doesn't matter what race, what gender, what political belief we have. Every single one of these people came together for rock and roll, and they all knew the words, and they just screamed "Skid Row" at that part. And that part really kind of made me want to. Half of that was that part making me want to, get into it. And that burst of adrenaline I got from that made me want to do it. And then the other half is how fucking terrible I was on stage. I need to learn how to sing. I need to learn how to sing to protect myself, so that never happens again. That's kind of the string. I was getting into the music. I wasn't really trying to take it professionally. It was around my senior year. It was like January of my senior year, right before COVID, when he did that. I'm like, "Fuck, that'd be really cool to do." And then COVID hit 2 months after, and I'm like, I got time to actually take this seriously. So that's how it kind of started.
One thing, when I was watching stuff last night, you guys really gave me an early Trickster vibe. Not necessarily like sound, but like on stage. I was like, yes, I love it.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm gonna go see him tomorrow. I'm seeing the Trickster Boys tomorrow.
Oh shit!
Steve and PJ have been friends with my dad for as long as I can remember, and in recent years, I've been on a couple bills with them, and I've grown friends with Steve and PJ, and they're playing at a venue an hour away from me tomorrow, so I might go up there. They're great. Yeah, I mean, what's funny is people say I look like PJ Farley. I do not agree. I don't think so. I have hair. I'm joking. but yeah. I mean, Trickster. Any of those hair bands were definitely an influence. I would say now, when I wrote favorite songs, it was all about the hair metal. And I was listening to a little bit of country, around then, but it wasn't really a lot of modern rock. So it's like these past two songs were very, I don't want to say in your face hair metal, but you could kind of tell that, they had the hair metal influences. But I've widened my horizons, since then. And it's like every song will be consistent and still have my feel. But all these new songs that we're working on, you could tell that the inspiration is 80s rock, but I feel like that's where a lot of these 80s rock new bands fail, is that they'll just be straight up rip off hair metal, Pretty Boy Floyd.
Yeah.
Too in your face, terribly mixed, Pretty Boy Floyd. And it's like our songs need to be modern. You could tell the influences, just like, this might be a terrible example, but Nickelback, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You actually look and listen to interviews with them. They love the 80s hair metal shit. They love all of that, but that's not out. It's like you could tell the influence when you really realize or listen to it. All those songs lyrically, all of them are hair metal songs. All of them talk about hot chicks, hanging out, partying, and all that. But they have a little bit of a 2000s sound, so you could tell. Especially with my music, I want to be able to everybody to tell what my influences are while still creating kind of a new modern rock sound.
Very cool. That being said, who are you listening to now that's like on Octane or do you listen to Octane?
Well, it's funny. I would say, I always will can 100% throw on any of the 80s rock shit. That is still my number one favorite. All that, the Warrants, your Skid Rows, your Bon Jovis, all that. But I'm really, see, this is where I might get some hate right here. I'm really enjoying some Nickelback lately.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with Nickelback.
Thank God.
There is not. I even watched the documentary.
It was a great documentary.
It was. It's very good.
I always got to speak carefully. Like whenever you bring up Taylor Swift, it divides the room. Yeah. But Nickelback's great. Some Shine Down. I'm making some Shine Down. I might go up to see Hailstorm this weekend. But like I said, all the 80s shit is still number one for me, but I'm really kind of getting into enjoying everything else. I was really so narrow-minded with it, but in the past year, I've really kind of widened. I'm still not a grunge guy. I won't listen to grunge, but I like kind of a little bit of post-grunge. Like I like Bush. I don't know if you consider Bush grunge, but I like me some Bush.
I don't know if you consider them into that era, to be honest.
I know they were right after, I believe.
You're right in that. They're right at the end of the mix.
Yeah, I don't know if you call them post-grunge. I don't know what you would call them.
I don't know.
I was named after him. I was named after Gavin Rosdale.
There you go.
Like, why couldn't you name me after somebody cool like fucking Janie Wayne?
I know it, right?
Eddie Van Halen Evick. Why not name me that?
You guys have opened for like everybody already, and I was going through and seeing all the different bands. I would write down a couple key things, and then my list just grew and grew. And I was like, okay, who haven't you played with that you'd like to? Is a better question than what I was going to ask before the list.
Nickelback.
There you go. See,
solid.
I mean, it's like we open for all these cool '80s bands and stuff, but a lot of them are just kind of. I don't want to like insult them by saying nostalgia acts, but a lot of them are nostalgia acts versus, Nickelback. Yeah, they're 20-ish years old, but they still bring in a lot of new young fans, like a lot, and they're modern enough to, the job as an opening band is to do the best you can to take the headlining band's audience and make them enjoy you. I feel like, not a whole lot of. I'm not trying to attack I don't know how old you guys are, your generation, but a lot of the people in that generation that listen to all the 80s rock stuff aren't really looking for new music. They don't really care. They're not going to go like, oh, hey, that band was cool. Let me go listen to them on Apple Music. Some do, maybe a good, like 20%. A lot of them are just going to see their headliner. Nickelback is still, modern enough that, a lot of fans, if they saw a cool band, I feel like they would follow them. Because they live in that social media age too. I feel like a lot of these older bands, like your Poisons, your Bon Jovis, and Skid Rows, don't necessarily need social media. Versus a lot of the bands that are on tour with Nickelback are still very, social media and young people fans. If that makes sense, I feel like what I'm saying is I feel like I would benefit more from opening for a band like Nickelback or even a newer one like Hailstorm or Shinedown. Is what I'm saying.
Right on.
Totally makes sense.
I do want to make note that I did see that you were on a bill at one point with the Ratchet Dolls.
Yes, and they couldn't make it. So
I was going to say those are friends of mine, so I was just going to say I thought that was pretty cool that you played with them, but apparently you didn't.
It was at a venue called Count Vamped, in Vegas. And it was the same time that all the airlines shut down, and they were stuck in Texas. They couldn't make it.
So we have another co-host that's not with us tonight, but apparently he's watching because he left us a comment.
Oh.
/ question for you. And it's, if you could make a dream band, who would be playing what?
God, that's a great question. I love that question. Nobody's ever asked me that. And I would say Zakk Wylde on the guitar. I would say, on vocals, I either got to go with Sebastian Bach or Steven Tyler. I'd say Steven Tyler. So Zakk Wylde, Steven Tyler. I would say on drums, I'm actually going to say Dave Grohl.
Okay.
And then on bass, I'm going to say this because I don't mean to insult any bass players right here. A bass player doesn't have an enormous influence on the band. So it's like, I think, a bass player is half and half, like playing the bass and the rhythm and half vocals. Any bass player I have has to have really good background vocals. So I'm going to say Gene Simmons.
I was going to say Michael Anthony with the Van Halen above your.
I take it back. Delete it. Take that out, Michael Anthony. But I mean,
sorry, John.
I mean, can I make a bigger band? That's just.
You heard what happened, right?
With what?
Yeah, let's do two guitar players and
okay.
Richie Sambora.
What's that?
Richie
Sambora.
Oh,
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Love it.
Like fucking 6 people. Let's make this a keyboard player. Fucking. Man, I want to say David Bryan from Bon Jovi, but
he's
amazing. He's amazing.
He is amazing.
I would probably have to go with like an unknown kind of Nashville keyboard player because it's a completely different world, man. I don't know if you guys like just kind of keep up with like just the Nashville shit and what's going on with like country bands. I mean, it's like a rock and roll keyboard player sticks with his 5 tones, like the synth, the heavy synth, the light synth, this string, that, like these Nashville musicians, man, these Nashville keyboard players, like they have like 100 different presets and they just fucking everything just fills the sound. So I'd probably go with an obscure keyboard player. But other than that, fucking, I got the best band ever. You got Steven Tyler, you got Michael Anthony, Zakk Wylde, Dave Grohl, and Richie Sambora. Come on.
Oh shit, yeah.
Beat that.
I mean, and you did have an original member of Gene Simmons, but you booted him, so
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great lineup, though.
Hell yeah. I would like to see Richie Sambora and Zach Wilde on stage together and just see what that would. How would this be? You know,
who's playing the solos in that, dude? I don't think Richie has got the ego for that. Or
I don't think he. I think he would step back. He would just like just you. Yeah.
Zach's my favorite of all time, man. I argue with everybody.
He's wicked. He's wicked.
My dad's like, "Fuck you, Eddie Van Halen," or like this friend's like, "Oh, fuck you, Randy Rhoads." Listen. I'm not arguing who is the best guitar player of all time. I'm arguing who my favorite is.
Yeah.
My favorite is Zach Wilde. My favorite guitar work out of any album ever is No More Tears. The album.
Yes.
Well, not just the song, but the album.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm not saying that's my favorite album of all time, just as far as guitar work goes. At the producing of that album, just everything, fucking great. I could go on for an hour talking about Zach Wilde.
I would also like to mention that No More Tears came out in 1991 yesterday.
Really? Oh, how about that? That was before my time.
How the hell did you just pull that out like that? That was good, John.
That's what I do.
Oh my goodness.
That sucks. I had a question in my head, and I got to look back at my notes and see what I because that totally threw my whole thing. Okay, you played the whiskey.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how was that feeling for you to play that stage?
Strange. Anybody that's ever played the whiskey knows that, I didn't realize, we're friends with Faster Pussycat, so we got, put on. I thought we were direct support to Faster, but then I didn't realize that the whiskey puts on 9 bands at their shows. Every show they have 9 openers, and because we've never played there before, they put us a little earlier on the set, not first, but like second or third.
Mm-hmm.
And with 9 bands on the bill, they get you in and out. 25, 30-minute set, and it is no sound check, not even a line check. You get up, play, get down. Fucking, it was the weirdest experience of my life. It was cool. I mean, as far as, legacy goes, I mean, looking at the walls and seeing this person's signature, seeing this person's photo, fucking this or that, Motley Crue's playing there in like a month or something. It was amazing. It felt like a lot of the work that's been done the past year or two has been kind of leading up to that point. But again, it was such a big lead up to it. Like, oh my God, we're about to play the whiskey. To, all right, kid, get on stage. All right, get the fuck off stage. Like, just 20 minutes. that experience was really, really weird. But
you're not special. Get off.
Dude, they have probably 4 shows a week and like 9 bands at each one of their
crazy.
For the past 60 years.
Crazy.
Nobody is somebody there.
Exactly.
And then eating at the Rainbow right after was really
cool.
Doing the whole experience. Almost went to the Body Shop, didn't go.
I do want to make sure that we play your new song while we have you on with us too.
Okay.
Randy has Young, Wild, and Free ready to kick out a little clip.
Here we go.
Now we got everything that we need. A full tank of gas, you're hitting top speed. We're running every red light, stop sign tonight. Forget about your problems, leave them all behind. 'Cause on these summer nights, we're living for a good time. Driving black on black with your friends and mine. There's nowhere else we'd rather be. We're young, wild, and free. We bring rock and roll everywhere we go. We play it loud on the radio. There's nowhere else we'd rather be. We're young, wild, and free.
Hell yeah.
When's the last time you saw a bunch of hot young blonde chicks in a rock and roll video?
Poison.
Bring me back. I'm trying to do it.
But the cat dragged in.
And also, I'll make mention that I love the shirt you're wearing in that video too.
It was a Kiss shirt, right? Crazy Nights. Is that what I was wearing? Yeah. I still have that. It's upstairs. That was my dad's real one.
Randy, that was going to be my reference for tonight, but we already covered it, so I didn't have to worry about it. I always gets brought up in our show some way, somehow. And I was like, oh, your video is perfect. I love it.
Well, we do have this.
I'm guessing you
I
guys
think we have two.
are big Kiss fans, aren't you?
I am.
John is, yes.
Much.
I went up to Madison Square Garden last year to go see him at their
The final shows.
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw that on your page thing.
Yeah, man. You know what was crazy is, I'm going to sound a little entitled here, but usually I am able to score some guest list tickets, and at those final two shows at Madison Square Garden, 0 guest list for anybody, not even friends and family, nobody. And it's funny is the day before that they played Baltimore, and I'm in Virginia, so Baltimore is only like 2 hours from me. And I had free tickets to go to that show, but I didn't go. I'm like, fuck that. I don't care if I have to buy a ticket. I'm going up to Madison Square Garden, which is only 4 hours from me. And I did it, and we didn't buy tickets until we were getting close. This is a life hack right here. Nosebleeds, like up at the top of the arena, were $300.
Mm-hmm.
We got closer and closer. We're waiting for tickets to open up. Trying to get like lower bowl for probably less than 200, hoping. And we, at the perfect time, looked at our phone at Ticketmaster, and we had perfect right in the center of the floor, like dead in the middle, like few rows, right in between the stage and the sound mixer, right there for $100 a ticket.
What? Shit.
At the Madison Square Garden show. At the fucking show, literally right in the middle, like I can't explain it. It was a perfect seat. Not too close where you have to look around, but not too far back. It was fucking right in the middle of the floor. $100 each.
That's
Yeah.
Winning.
I know, right? Fucking crazy.
one of the most important things that we can do for you while we have you on is you put out, tell us where is the best place to find all things for your band and your music.
Yeah, I mean, kind of just me on social media. I got my, page, just Gavin Evick, which has, more, stuff going on that. Then we have the band page, which is, Gavin Evick Band and all that. And Instagram, Facebook, I post more on Facebook than I do on Instagram, just, updates and stuff. I kind of save Instagram as like cool posts, and my stories I'll do updates, but like Facebook, I'll have like updates on shows. Yeah, just kind of on socials. And we have a merch store, which I see right at the bottom, right down there.
Yeah, I kind of want to show that off here real quick. So just a second here. All right. There we go.
Oh, I didn't even know that candle was still up there.
The candle is not available.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Just a simple little merch store. Yeah,
So check it out down there on the bottom there. Go check out the merch. Get yourself a shirt.
Yeah, I've had this shirt that I custom made about 2-3 years ago that I wear to a lot of shows. That everybody's like, it's the best shirt I've ever fucking seen, and I'm about to put it in my merch store. It's a silhouette of a naked lady lying down, and it says Cougar Candy, because that's my nickname. I got that idea when I'd go to these shows, and all the fucking MILFs and all these.
Yeah. Look at his hair. Oh.
My dad thinks it's the dumbest idea in the fucking world. It's like, why would any adult dude want to wear a shirt that says Cougar Candy and it has your name on it? Why would they want to wear that, saying that some other dude gets fucking old pussy? I'm gonna make my cool shirt. Everybody likes it.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Speaking of your dad, and I know you've played a couple party draws with them. How is it now, as opposed to like when he pulled you up on stage? Now you kind of sort of share the stage.
Yeah. So I haven't played. I've played with Brett, but I haven't played a party draw with him.
Okay.
Well, it depends. He does this thing called the Fall Party Gras, but the real Party Gras is the Live Nation tour. But shows that are not in the summer, do like, oh, Fall Party Gras or something like that. But in fact, I have one coming up in a month. It's that same venue I played, the Ion Arena. It's a new arena in Northern Virginia that's really, really cool. It's cool. It's kind of a full circle thing, especially for my dad. Not growing up, but I mean, that when I was talking about that story with you, that was at like a small club, bar-ish stage with a few hundred people there. And then I was singing Youth Gone Wild. And then the very last song I did at that arena last year with Brett was Youth Gone Wild. And my dad was there. And it was a full circle thing.
Really cool.
I started, my career with Youth Gone Wild, and I ended that set on the biggest show I'd ever done with Youth Gone Wild. So it's different, and a lot of things have changed, but at the end of the day, it's the same because it's just a love for that song and a love for music. So not a whole lot has changed. If that answers the question. I don't know if that directly answered, but
yeah, that just gave me goosebumps. I loved it. Like for real, like it just that seems like such a heartfelt thing, just the way that you told the story, and I feel like that might have been the biggest show you've ever played to this point, but I don't feel like that's the end all be all of biggest shows that you're gonna play.
No. I mean, in fact, I'm doing the exact same show in 3 weeks. So, and I will say that we've been doing lots of one-offs and stuff like that. Just no tours or anything. Booking like route dates if we have a real date around it. But I think that this upcoming summer we're trying really hard to kind of get on an opening slot for a tour, and that's what we're going to do. I don't think Brett's not touring next year, so that's not going to happen. We'll see what happens in 2 years if I could get on that Poison tour. That's in 2026. But we'll see. I know we're trying to do some shows with Wolfgang Van Halen and Dirty Honey.
Oh, cool.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but when you play with those bands, because they're newer bands, when you want to open for them, they want a certain amount of followers. So it gets a little difficult. They want like 50,000 or something like that.
Right on.
Makes sense.
We're learning things too. I didn't know those things.
I hate it.
No, I didn't.
I'm such an anti-social media guy. I hate it. If I could, play music for the rest of my life and just fly home and fucking live in a log cabin and somewhere by a lake, that would be me. And all I need is my fucking smoker, a fucking grill. Like I'm into fucking all that shit. I could entertain myself.
Randy, I will tell you that I've made it through my list of all my notes that I took.
Not bad. Not bad, John.
You know that I finally got through it all. I was double checking.
That's the opposite problem I have. I usually just give long answers, and people are like, okay, well, we have 5 more questions, and we have 2 more minutes left. I'm glad you got your questions.
No,
that's all right. That's okay, man.
Our job way easier to do this because sometimes we get somebody on that will ask them a question. They're like, "Yeah, yellow."
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Not that I was ever awkward, but I'm definitely way more talkative than I am now because I've learned that kind of not that I'm big or famous or anything, but definitely in the public eye. I talk to a lot of people that don't know how to drive a conversation. And I need to drive it. Sometimes I'll do interviews where they'll ask really, really simple questions, but I need to fill out an hour-long time slot, and I'll bounce it back to them, and they're just like,
Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible.
It's like I basically have to become the interviewer. I've learned in the past 2 years how to the communication skills I've gained from this job are more than any other skill that I've learned from this job. It's learning how to communicate more and just talking my ass off.
That happened to us once where they became the interviewer because Dee Snider took over our interview.
Dee Snider. Yeah, absolutely.
I saw him last week. What a guy.
Yeah, he's a mess, dude.
Crazy motherfucker.
So there's a side note that is kind of related to the world that you live in. Ricky Rocket has a new project coming out called the Rocket Mafia. Any insight? Have you heard anything?
Skip.
All right, just checking. Had to try.
Isn't it with Brandon Gibbs and whoever?
I'm sure they're buddies. So yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if you've been keeping up, in that world the past 2 weeks. My dad's been under a lot of fucking heat for all that shit, so I don't know how much I could open my mouth about. And
yeah, we don't want you to. No.
Well, I'll say this. What sucks, and I really got to be careful here, really careful, but I think I want to say it, is not a whole lot of people really kind of see all the behind the scenes. Everybody's like, oh, Bret Michaels Band versus Poison. You either have to love or hate, one or the other. Mm-hmm. And, my dad and Cece are great friends. They're not against each other. Him and Bobby get along. I don't think Ricky likes the whole idea of the Bret Michaels Band. But, I'll say this. At M3 Rock Festival, Pretty Boy Floyd was playing, and they were at the very beginning of the festival, and Bret was headlining. And on stage, Ricky, what's Steve Summers? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Steve Summers said something talking shit. Everybody thought he said Ricky Rocket. And he was like, oh, Ricky Rocket, what a fucking poser, this and that. On stage at M3 Rock Festival. Turns out he was talking about Ricky Rackman. But everybody was texting my dad saying, hey, this motherfucker is talking shit about Ricky Rocket. And an hour before that, Steve went up to Bret and was like, hey, man, I love you. I love Poison. You guys are so great. Then an hour later, supposedly he's talking all this mad shit about Ricky Rocket. It erupted backstage at M3, and my dad stormed and kicked down the door in his fucking dressing room and got up in his fucking face. You will never, ever talk that way about fucking Ricky Rocket. It was right there. We were all there. It was a fucking fist fight about to fucking happen. So I swear to God, you could ask other people that were there. Chad from Faster Pussycat watched it. Everybody always puts the Bret Michaels Band and Poison against each other. But my dad was, right there ready to go to fucking war for a guy that always talks shit about him, Ricky Rocket. So it's just I hate the war that's between the two. They're so different. I don't know if you've seen both shows. Poison is still very hair metal versus Bret Michaels Band. They play Poison songs, but it's like a southern rock Aerosmith version.
Yeah.
I have had the pleasure of seeing both. I actually kind of sort of met your dad at a show.
Okay. Awesome.
I was there with our local radio station, so we were going in early, and they were in there trying to have dinner, and we were trying to go get our stuff set up for the radio station. He's like, oh, what are you guys doing? Like, you guys came in here, and we're like, oh, it's the radio station. Like,
yeah.
I kind of sort of met him briefly.
Right.
Maybe not the best circumstances because he thought we were just barging in.
Oh, really? I mean,
but he was super cool with us and very chill once we explained, we're just at the radio station setting stuff up. That's all.
But did you guys enjoy the show, though? A lot of people can't get past it. Like, oh, it's, you guys are playing Poison songs and it has to sound exactly like Poison. That's not what it is. It is how Bret wants those songs to sound. It's almost like, dare I bring up Taylor Swift, but, she has her albums and she has Taylor's version. These songs are very much, Bret was an Aerosmith fan and a Skinner fan. Not that these are very Southern rock, but they're heavier. They got two guitars. They're thicker. It's a different experience. But a lot of people, it's not CeCe DeVille on fucking cocaine playing this crazy solo.
CeCe.
Yeah.
There is a fun drinking game that my buddy and I used to play after a Poison show. Like the next time we saw them, we're like, every time Brett says CC on stage, like when he calls him out for a solo, like you drink. Because on their actual albums, I believe there's 2 songs that he actually does it. When he's on stage, he does it like every single song.
Yeah, talk dirty to me. He says, CC, pick up that guitar and talk to me. And then it's fuck. Let me get this. Give me 5 seconds. It's like, hit it, CC. It's that.
Yeah, there you go.
What song is it in though? Hit it, CC. Fuck.
Talk dirty.
No. That's CC, pick up that guitar and talk to me.
Yeah.
There's another song where he says, hit it, CC. It might be the cover where they do Rock and Roll All Night. I forget.
Oh, he does do it on that. Or he says, I think he says rocket or something like that. I don't know.
Rocket.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I think he just has to remind CC his solo's coming up. But
maybe that's what it is.
Mark mixes them up sometimes. He'll call my dad CC and he'll call CC Petey sometimes. He says, like, Petey, pick up that guitar. Because it rolls off the tongue. Like, CC, pick up that Petey, pick up that guitar.
Yeah.
I did that once. Me and my dad did Talk Dirty to me at an acoustic show, and I was singing. And I said, Dad, pick up that guitar and talk to me. And he stopped the fucking song. He was like, that was the stupidest thing I've ever heard you say. It came to my head. I'm like, okay, this might be cool. Dad, pick up that guitar and talk. And everybody just stared at me. It was like the dumbest thing. It was the most embarrassing.
That's funny.
Movies on stories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He made it all the way through. We didn't even talk about Zebra or Night Ranger or Zebra.
Yeah. Tell me what you want. We could talk about Zebra.
So you just did 2 shows with Zebra, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. One in Leesburg, Virginia, and Irwin, Pennsylvania. How did that go?
Well, it Leesburg, Virginia, was at a venue called the Tally Ho Theater, and I've played there several times. And now that my band is growing, we actually had our first ever headline show at this venue, and I've seen Wasp there, Firehouse. I've seen big bands there. It holds about 700 people, and we were like, you know what, we got enough of a following to headline the Tally Ho. So we did it in August 9th. We headlined the Tally Ho. It was fucking amazing.
Hell yeah.
We brought in like big ramps, like Poison style on the stage. Nobody's ever done that at the Tally Ho. And we got there, and just the local sound guys and crew, they're just like, they had a drum riser set up there, and we're like, hey, can you tear this down? Can you tear down your drum riser, and can we bring in one? Like, they're all, respectfully, I love them, just old curmudgeons, just like they're just tired. But we brought in fucking extra lights, big stage risers, ramps, fucking CO2 cannons, everything. It's kind of club level stage. And I even animated a bunch of video wall backgrounds because they have video walls there. And for every single song, we had a different video going in the background. Like, you go see a big show, and you got like each song has like a big show, and like animated backgrounds and stuff. Like that's my other thing, is I'm a fucking nerd when it comes to video editing. So I spent a month just animating our own video walls and all that. So we had the high of that show, and then Zebra called us the day after because they were playing. They're like, hey, you want to do this build? You guys want to open for us at this show? And I was never really, a massive Zebra fan, and not in a negative way, but I just didn't know a whole lot of songs. I'm like, okay, we'll do it. And, it was just a fun show. They were super nice guys, and we went up to Pennsylvania too. And that was a fun show as well. They're super, super nice guys. I don't have a lot to really kind of say about them. and certainly nothing negative. They were just really, really nice guys and very, very musically talented, especially the singer guitar player. He's fucking great. I'm trying to show you. This was the stage we set up at the fucking. It's not
Oh,
even,
hell yes.
come on, look at that.
Awesome.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. And I'm staring off. But it's like for every single song, and like we did like a Def Leppard song, and I had this animated in the background. And it's like, hey, let's see if it pops up. It's too bright, but my logo's right there. You know what? Give me 1 sec. I'll show you. We did a Metallica song off of Ride the Lightning. We did From the Bell Tolls. And fucking this, I animated the fuck out of this.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah, so we just had that going. What I wanted to do is I wanted to put a big arena show into a club, and that's what I did. It was just awesome. It was so cool.
So with when you do those type shows and you do some covers into your set, you have a favorite song? See, I can't say it that way because that references back. And I'm trying not to do that. Like, covers that you prefer to play.
My favorites are Look What the Cat Dragged In, Youth Gone Wild, Shout at the Devil, and Still the Night. I love doing Still the Night. In fact, you know, if I'm going full circle back to that arena show that I was talking about that we did last year, nobody ever covers Still the Night because it's one of the hardest songs to do because there's so much going on. And everybody, including my dad, said, don't fucking do Still the Night. It's hard, and I'm not doubting that you guys could do it or not, but it's a big arena show. It's your first arena show. Do something easy, you know. And so I said, fuck that, and I opened with it. and I don't want to sound cocky right now, but everybody just was blown away by it, and all the videos of high notes that was going on in it, and they're like, I still have texts to this day from people saying like, you guys are crazy enough to do fucking Still the Night, let alone open with it. You never open with your hardest song. That's fucking wrong. You have a song that you warm up to, and it was just the arena erupted, man, because it's like half of them were, you know, it was a hometown show, so half of them knew who I was, and half of them who didn't know who, you know. You don't know an opening band and you hear, you know, them do like one of your favorite songs like Still the Night, you run to your seat. You know, if you're seeing an opening band and you don't really give a shit about their, you know, original music, but they play fucking like a Kiss song or something like that, you're like, oh shit, let me listen, let me see how they do. So it's like the whole arena just fucking erupted when we did Still the Night. So Still the Night is always one of my favorites.
I can see how that could happen because I'd be shit. It would have me.
Another one I had always dreamed about doing in an arena was Shout at the Devil. So we did Shout at the Devil too. We did 3 covers and a few originals. It was a short set. It was only like 30 minutes. And I wanted to do Shout at the Devil because that song has such massive crowd engagement. Like shout. And I just wanted to get all of everybody's hands in the air, just and hear and feel the arena energy. You know, you hear from musicians all the time how much different the energy is in an arena versus like a club, and it just everything just was amplified. And it just, when everybody was screaming, shout, putting their fists up, it was a sea of people. It was great. That's why I love doing those songs. You know.
I think I did see a live version that you guys had recorded out there of Shout at the Devil. And I think it was at the Tally Ho.
Oh, really?
That I watched that video from.
Oh, okay.
One of the songs was definitely from there because it says Tally Ho like right down the middle.
Yeah.
I was like, so I think that's the one I saw.
Yeah, that may have been. When's the last time I posted Shout at the? That might have been our second ever show, like over a year ago. And I think if that's the video I'm thinking of. I
was scrolling back into history a while last night.
Yeah, was I don't know if you remember. Was I wearing like a Steel Panther shirt that said "Death to All But Metal"?
I don't know what you.
It was like black with yellow on it. That
I only made reference to the Kiss shirt in the video. Just
oh, gotcha.
like, that was the only reason I had to make sure I saw that.
Right on. Did lots of digging. Did your homework, dude. I had it was funny. A lot of people do their research and have questions prepared, but I did this one guy like a month ago who had no idea who I was or my dad or anything. He seemed like he didn't want to be here. He was just asking questions. I'm like, oh my gosh, dude. I mean, he was a nice guy, but it's always nice when somebody kind of knows who they're talking to. If that makes sense. I form a conversation.
I got so pumped up last night after I listened to your music, and I just kept.
Yeah.
And then there was one that actually it was your dad's band, and I started watching. I was like, "What is this? Like, what's happening?" But I thought it was like you were doing some spoof thing, and then I realized it changed names at the bottom. I was like, "Oh man!" So
you're talking about my best days.
Yes,
best days.
Yeah.
I was playing the younger version of him in the '80s, and my friend Logan was playing the younger version of Chuck, the drummer, back in the '80s.
That's exactly what it was. That I was like, "What's happening right now?" And I was like, "Oh wait, this is he's actually band, but he's in here."
And we filmed that the same day. The main part of his music video on stage, where it was him, was actually filmed the exact same day and exact same place as the favorite songs video. If you noticed.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was up in New York. It was a sound stage up in there. It was a better price just to split the day in two. It's expensive. Yeah.
Well, Gavin, do you have anything else out there that you want the world to know about before we wrap things up tonight?
I mean, now I've just got some really cool shows coming up. It's fun. The new song we're putting out is. It's almost done, and you guys should expect that within the next 2 months. And I'm really excited for that song because it's heavier. It's not like a metal song, but it's definitely an adrenaline pumping song. I can't wait for everybody to hear. We got our ballad out, we got our summer fun song, and now we got our adrenaline song. And it's gonna be. I can't wait for everybody to hear it. It's called Red Line, so it'll be super fun.
Right on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's about it, man. Just some cool shows coming up, and some new music out on the way.
I'm excited. I'm going to be following your stuff for sure for the foreseeable future. Like, I'll be hoping to catch you out on the road at some point.
Of course. Where you got? So you're Oklahoma City,
and Topeka.
And what state is that in Topeka?
Kansas.
Okay. Well, you guys are both close to each other, right? Like that's.
Well, we're about 4 hours away.
I was thinking about 4 hours because Oklahoma. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Like, where's that? Is that considered the Midwest or is that South?
Yeah, it's Midwest. I would say that's Midwest.
Okay. Cool. I'm hoping to get out there sometime. We've been up and down the East Coast, and then we went over to the West. We haven't done a whole lot of Midwest yet.
Yeah, bring it down the middle.
Yep. Trying to.
Randy, do you want to play that outro?
All righty.
Gavin,
here we go.
Thank you so much for joining us. You have been
Thank you guys for having me.
Amazing.
It was great.
Love it. Have a good one.
Thank you. You guys too.
We bang your ugly friends too.